Hello, everybody. Jennifer here with Canvas Sign Designs. How are you guys doing? Today, I'm going to be doing the November lettering challenge, and we do this each month. I missed last month doing this live, but we are going to take all of the words from our November lettering challenge, and we are going to put them in a word collage like this. So I've been doing this since April, once a month, and it is a lot of fun. Here is September's, and the other months are in my other notebook, but these are a lot of fun and everybody's been enjoying them. So I am here today live with you guys to do this. So as you're jumping on, say hello. Hey, Marisa, how are you? I dragged all of my equipment over from my office to my house because I just wanted to be in here. So, my husband builds me my own studio, and I have just been working in my house lately because he went back to work and nobody is here during the day. And it's just, I don't know, it feels cozier over here. So we don't need to tell him that, though. He does not need to know that I carried everything over here. So I'm just going to zoom this camera out just a little tiny bit so you can see just a little bit better. Let's see. Let's do it about like that. I think that will be good. Okay. Hey, Sonia. Hey, Brenda. Andy and Abby are good. They are at work and at school. So we are here in the house lettering. So I put this lettering challenge, I posted this on my main page. And then if you're in the Happy Lettering Club, it is posted in the group and also in our Club Hub. So you can take these words. I'm going to create a little scramble with them. So we will get started with that in 2 seconds. Let me just adjust this lighting really fast while more people are jumping on. And let's see, because I feel like it is really like bright white in here. Oh, never mind. I don't need to do it there. Okay, so let's see. I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second just to make this not so white. A little darker. Okay. I feel as if that's a little bit better. Okay, so let's see. I've been using lately the the twin tone markers from Tombow to do the lettering challenges. I might use some of these, and then I might also use some of my favorite lettering pens, which are the Tombow Fudnowski markers. I just really zoomed in on my face, didn't I? Let me just scoot this back rather than zooming all the way. Okay. Hey, Brenda. All right, we're situated. Here we go. Sorry. Happy Wednesday to you too. Okay, so these are our words. Okay, Tombow Fudnowski. I might use some of these, and I was just gonna pick like some fall colors out. So I usually try to match the colors of my design based on, I don't know, the month. So I'll use like fall colors this time. Last time I used like some Halloween colors. And let's see, we can use this. And next month I'll use some Christmas colors. I don't know. I just want them to match. So I'm going to put this out of the way here, and I'm going to take my little notebook. These are just a mixed media journal book, and the papers come out. Looks like this paper is a little bit torn. So I'm going to find one that's not torn. And these just slip out, which is very nice because you know the spiral kind of gets in your way sometimes when they're on the left or the right. It kind of gets in the way of your hand. So I like to pull these pages out and just put a flat piece of paper on the screen here. Okay, all right. Let's get started. Okay, so the first word of the month is November. So I'm going to do November in the middle here. And let's see, I am going to use one of these. And I think I'm going to use orange because, you know, why not? Let's see. So okay, so there's November. Now I'm going to go back through it and just thicken up these downstrokes. So anywhere I went down with my pen, that's where I'm going to thicken up the letters. And I usually go back over the other ones too, just to make them a little darker. Sometimes my hand is a little, is not so steady. So if I go back over the words, I can kind of like smooth them out, any shaky lines that are there, because let's just face it, it happens. This is nice filming over here in my house. I don't have to have all the bright lights on me because there's so much natural light over here. It is bright without all those blaring lights. How was the weather where you guys are at? I know it got really I know a lot of people got snow this week. We had a bit of a cold front. So it got down to 30. But today it's supposed to be back to 70 something, 75 maybe. So our cold front lasted like 2 days. November is a good word to letter. Some words are not so fun. I don't mind November so much. I don't know if I'm crazy about the way I did that in, but sometimes I just do things and I don't really think about, it's not premeditated. And that's what I like about these little challenges is that, you know, you're having to kind of like fit the words in, like kind of Tetris style. And so you have to get kind of creative sometimes on the placement of your words. So I do like that about it. It kind of forces you out of your box. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Marilyn. Sonia said she loves the curly Q on the end and reminds her of a pumpkin stem. Oh, that is a really good point, Sonia. It does look like a pumpkin stem and it does match the vibe for the month. So you're right. Isn't it funny how we look at our own stuff and how differently we think of our own things and how somebody else looks at it and sees it totally different? It's just crazy. Okay, I should probably do a little curly Q there, but I'm not going to, or maybe there. I won't. Okay, so that is that one. Okay, so our next word is going to be thankful. And I'm going to pull out all the colors of these twin tone markers that I might use because I just want to have those colors available here so I don't have to dig around in this. I'm thinking this is kind of an orangey color too. Maybe I'll use that and then I'll use this orange. I'll keep the yellow. Gotta have some green. Do we think that green or the light green? I think maybe the dark. And then I like to have kind of like a look, I can match my shirt. Like a blue, like a turquoise in the mix. Let's see, pink is usually nice to have. I don't know if we'll be able to see this peachy color. It's nice to have a few different options though, because sometimes you run out of places to put certain colors. I'm not going to use red. Okay, I suppose I could use purple, but I used a lot of purple last month, so I'm going to skip out on the purple. There is this kind of color. Okay, I should have really probably picked all these out before I got on here with y'all, but that might kind of be a good fallish color. I don't know, maybe these. We're going to use, I try to pick out some different things than I normally do. Okay, so we're going to go with Thankful, and I think I'm going to use this. And I think I'm going to write that right under November, but I'm not going to write it right below. I'm going to write it kind of off because we want it to, again, be like kind of a Tetris Jenga style wording. So, okay, I'm going to do Thankful here. I try to just combine different styles, but sometimes I get stuck in the same way of doing things and it gets hard. To like come up with new things. Let's do that. And sometimes I get to talking and leave out a letter like I just did. Look, I just left out the K. Well, that's unfortunate. This is why I can't talk and letter at the same time. Hey, Valerie. Let's see. How can I fix this? I don't have my little tape in here. Think. I can make a K. F. Shoot. And I really liked how I was writing that word. Okay, I'm going to have to get a new paper. I'm sorry, y'all. Good grief. That's frustrating. Why did I have to do that on the second word? I guess this every time I will do that. Every time, I feel like. I'm probably making it happen every time because I say every time I do that. Okay, we're gonna do the November again really quickly. I am real like y'all. I do the same things. Okay, so we're gonna go second time's better. My November is gonna look a lot nicer this time. I hope. So if I get quiet while I'm lettering, this is why. Okay, that one was November. Okay. Y'all know I just can't. Sometimes kids, it is a hard thing to talk and hand letter at the same time. I've gotten better at it over the years doing videos and classes, but it can be a little bit tricky because sometimes my hand's just going along, doing its thing. But I also don't want the silence on the screen. So if I go quiet, it's just, you know, I'm in high concentration mode. This will show you how different things look. You can letter the same thing over and over and it will look different each time. But that's the good thing about doing it. It being hand done, you know, like it's never, two are never going to look exactly the same. I'm a little nervous on this word challenge because there's a lot of long words. Some months there's a lot of short words and then you have a lot of space left over. feel like that's kind of what has happened to me the last few months. I feel like this B is like, this is so long. This month, there's a lot of really long words that I don't typically letter, like cornucopia. Don't ever letter that word. So this could get quite interesting. And if you don't like slow, then you can come back and watch the replay and just speed it up. Watch it on 150 or something. Because real-time lettering just takes time. Okay, so just as an example, they look very similar, but they also look different, right? This one's a little bit bigger. Okay. No, we're just going to pretend like nothing happened. I do like the way I was going with thankful, though. Okay, so the next word is thankful, and we're going to go T H A N K. I did this. I can still do this. F U L. I'm not perfect at getting them all the way straight across, like even. So I like to kind of just do things like this so that it takes that pressure away. You know, that perfection, that is a struggle for me. So I just make them wonky so that I don't have to worry about it. And I'm just going to go through here and thicken up some of these letters, or some of these parts of these letters. I won't do that on everything. Sometimes it just makes them look a little bit more substantial. Okay, thankful. Okay, got it? Did I spell it right? Okay, thankful. The next word is grateful. So I don't want to write grateful right by thankful. So I'm going to write it somewhere else. And I think I'm going to do it right here. So let's go with, it's kind of pretty together, right? It's kind of a purpley fall color. I don't have purple in my shirt, but not that I need it in my shirt. So grateful. Here's something funny, how I'm always dealing with the spelling situations because I'm a terrible speller, number one. But whenever I very first started my business, I might have to write this word out first and then I'll tell you the story because I don't want to mess this up. So I'm going to do this. Get the word down and then I can tell you the story. Now I'm going to be paranoid. I'm misspelling things. Okay. So when I first started my business, and like in the first few months of my business, right? Like I was just making all kinds of signs and posting them on Facebook and making them for people that worked with me. And somebody had requested a sign that said grateful, thankful, and blessed. And so I made it like out of old like fence picket wood. And I spelled grateful instead of Grateful. I put Greatful and posted a picture of that on Facebook. And somebody was like, you misspelled it grateful. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't even notice I did it until, you know, I just didn't even pay attention. I wasn't even paying attention. So that was my very first experience at misspelling something on a sign. It has happened multiple times since, or I'll leave a letter out or something. Sometimes you just get to going and you're just so like concentrating on your letters and how pretty you want your letters to be. And sometimes you just forget a letter or misspell it altogether. I usually leave out a letter. That's my biggest thing. Done that a whole lot, a whole lot. So if you struggle with that, then you know, you're in the right place. I feel like instead of, I don't know about that green. That's why I always recommend using a pencil first, pencil everything out, and then go back over it with your marker. That way you know you spelled all the words right and everything's good there. Okay, and the next word is feast, and I'm going to write that down here. I'm going to go print, and since I have this straight line, I know all I got to do is watch the tops and make sure the tops are even, which still can be a struggle for me. Okay, there's feast. I'm just gonna thicken this up too, again, get a little bit more substantial. Not a whole lot. But if you struggle with different ways to write things and different like fonts, when you're doing something like this, sometimes I like to just, you could pull up Pinterest and just search lettering fonts, or you could even go to Canva or something like that and just look at the different fonts that they have. Sometimes that will inspire you to kind of come up with a different creative way to write, because sometimes we get stuck doing the same old thing. It's kind of where I am lately. Need to branch out. Okay, feast is there. Hey, Bex Crafton Spot. I don't know your name, but Becky maybe. How are you? Happy Wednesday. Hey, Sherry. You are late for this important date. Well, you know, Sherry, if you know me, I'm late all the time, and you just got to see me start over because I just left the K out in Thankful there. So this is my second go round. So you didn't miss very much. Okay, so pumpkin pie. Let's actually, I'm going to use the actual orange for this one. I think sometimes too, you'll find that different pens actually force you to letter differently. So with these are more of a brush pen. And so I will kind of letter more like this or like this sometimes naturally when I'm using this. Hey, Becca. Okay, and so, but if I'm using a pen with a tip on it that's like a, like more of a bullet tip like this, then, you know, it doesn't bend and it's not flexible. So sometimes you'll find with different pens will kind of pull you out of that shell. Let's go, just going to go in this middle area here. Pumpkin is one that I always leave out that extra K, so I'm going to have to concentrate on this. I mean, extra P. Always leave out this one right here, P. Done that a million times. The ladies in the Happy Lettering Club will let you know that. They've seen me do that a few times. Hey, Melissa. What markers are you using? That's okay. Welcome, and we're glad you're watching. So this is a Tombow Fudinowsky marker. If you can read that, Fudinowsky Tombow. I have some of these on my website. If you look, just if you want to just see what the name of them are, you can get them at like sometimes I think Michael's carries them, Hobby Lobby. You can get them on Amazon. I have a black one in my starter pen kit. These are my absolute favorite lettering pens for lettering on paper. I love them. My only complaint is they just don't come in a huge variety of colors. Like they have a lot of colors, but it's like mostly like the primary colors, and then they have like some neon ones and some pastel ones, but they don't have a huge variety, I don't feel like. So I feel like Tombow needs to get on that because these are my favorite pens. I love them because there's a slight brush to the tip to them, but they also, you can, if you don't press down real hard, they stay really thin. And I usually kind of go over my letters like I'm doing now anyway. And I don't know, it just makes me feel like they're kind of sketchy in a way. I don't know. I like them. I'm going to leave like a little spot there in case I need it. Hey, Angie. So that if I don't use it, then I can just put like a little picture. Sometimes I fill these in with pictures. Okay, so family. Let's go. I haven't used this color yet. Family, family. Let's see. Where can we put family? I want to put family. Well, I don't want it that close to that word. Maybe right here. Maybe right. No, not right there. How about here? Family feast. That's what I'll do. Again, sometimes I just, my hand just does a certain style. I don't know. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't know what font I'm going to use. And then my hand just kind of does what it does. And that's what happened here. It starts getting really kind of more interesting as we get down to the last several words, because then it gets really hard to figure out spots to put them in. Okay, family, and then we have harvest. Let's do harvest in, I feel like green is just going to kind of clash. What are some other colors that are fall-ish? I don't know. Okay, so we're going to do brown. We'll do brown. Harvest. Let's do a brown. Since brown is here, I'll do harvest here. Let me think how I'm going to do this. Harvest. I'm not getting super creative on this, but, and again, just making these a little bit more substantial. You could leave them thin too, though, because it's almost like a whole different font just in itself. Having them be super thin. Any slight changes you make in the words or in the letters kind of creates a new font. So where your curves are or where these crossbars are, like you could easily do a crossbar like high up like this or super low, and that changes it to look like a different font just in itself. So you know, just slight little variations. So pay attention when you are looking at letters. They're all different shapes and sizes and different little curvatures to them, and all of them make them different and unique. Okay, so harvest, let's go with blessings. I think I'm going to do it here with this color. Let's do maybe right here. Lately, bees are just bothering me. I don't know. Bees are just, I'm not loving doing bees lately. One thing I didn't think about is the fact that there's a G, and I wrote this at the very bottom. So now the loopy part of the G, there's nowhere for it to go. So I'm going to just slap in a capital G. Maybe I'll just do this so this matches this. I know that bothers some people, but that's literally how I decide where I'm going to do like capital and lowercase, just based on the placement, where I'm putting it, the spacing. And what's around it. And you could do this and start it if it feels too intimidating to do the whole thing. Like do one word a day. Just come in and that's your lettering practice. Just sit down with one word of the day, you know, like they're all numbered. So you can just, you know, each day go in and letter your one word. And you'll probably be more creative and take more time doing that if you do it that way, rather than trying to fit it all in at once. Angie said, I love letters and how unique they can be too. So fun to see you work through the process. I love to get on here and just like kind of talk through what I do and how I do it and why I do it, because to me, that's super helpful. Because if you're new, you don't necessarily know the reasons why people do things, and you think it's just because they're super good and they're awesome and they know what they're doing. But sometimes it's just because honestly we mess up or whatever. So I like to just be real. Okay. I'm always, you can ask all the ladies in my groups, I am real. What you see is what you get. Blessings. The next one is turkey. Let's do turkey and brown. Sometimes I like to match the words to the color. So that doesn't always work out. I could do turkey here. So let me think. Turkey. I don't know. I feel like I want to go opposite of these. I do something different. I'm going to actually go smaller, so it's not even with that. I don't know why I did that. TUR. Okay. This is just a little a melody of styles. It looks a little odd. Sometimes it might look weird if you're lettering it in a different way. And sometimes when you letter something a lot, or you're messing with it a lot, you start to go, is that misspelled? Like it feels misspelled. You know, when you say a word over and over a bunch of times, how it starts sounding really funny. And you're like, isn't that weird how our minds do that? Did y'all ever do that when you were a kid? Just like you would with your friends, like say word a whole bunch of times until it starts sounding like it's not even like it's some foreign word or something. Okay, Turkey. Hey, Janie. You are totally new. What pens do you suggest? I would use these are Tombow Fudenoski. And these are, if you go to my shop, and it's just canvassigndesigns.com, if you go to the shop, these are in the shop. But I have a starter pen set that's got like my favorite black pen for lettering on signs, and it's got a black one of these. It's got my favorite sketching pencil. I love these pencils. You rarely ever have to sharpen them. Like I have to sharpen it once every several months because the lead is really hard in it, so it's not real soft and dark. It's got an eraser in it, and it's got a sparkly gold glitter pen, which is my favorite, and I'll add some of that at the end for lettering on paper. You could use that for signs too. That would be what I would suggest, just because it's a little sample of everything, and then you can decide what you like the best. But my favorite are the Tombow Fudenoski markers because they have a slight brush tip to them, but it's more flexible, and so it kind of bounces back really easy. Whereas some of these markers like this have like this big long brush tip, and it's softer and it gets flimsier and it's harder to control. So that's what I would recommend. Okay, these are great too, but they're just the ink is a little bit different in them. So I feel like they are more like, I don't know. I just did that. Now I think I want to do this. They are more like, I don't know, they're not like Sharpies, but they sometimes can, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't know the right words to describe what I'm thinking in my head, but they just they're more inky, like they're heavier and darker. Whereas the Fudenoski pens, I feel like are a little bit smoother and more opaque. I don't know. It's probably not the best way to describe it, but these are good, but they're not the smoothest. But they have a lot of colors, and that's why I like to use them. They have a lot of beautiful colors. I was just saying how Tombow needs to they need to be making better colors for my favorite ones. I'm getting ink everywhere too. Okay, I just kind of added some little thingies to the ends of that and just made it a little more interesting, and got ink everywhere in the meantime. Okay, so now we have gather. So we'll do gather. Let's do this color. We haven't done it in a while. Gather. I'm just going to go. I'm going to go right. There's a lot of longer words in here that I know I need to like leave some space for. So I'm trying to like leave clear space for some of that stuff. Let's go here. Just adding a little bit of weight to these. You're going to find when you're lettering too, like some words are just a pain in the butt to letter. Like they just don't look good together. Back when I used to do paint parties, some and custom orders for signs, sometimes like certain like family like last names are just awkward and they're hard to letter. And people would ask me to write that on a sign, and I'd be like, okay, how am I going to make this look good? You know, because they were like odd letters, like the letter Z is kind of weird in a name or whatever, but it does get you some experience. Okay, cornucopia. Let's do it in this color. And I'm going to do it up here, I think. Actually, I'm going to do it here. I'm going to have to really think about this. Corn. You. And so again, I'm on here. So my P, I can't bring it down because that's the table. So I'm going to have to do a capital one or just like this. Cornucopia. Okay. Sorry. Angie, I used to go live every week in here, but I've just recently started kind of going live once a month and doing this word challenge. I might increase the frequency in like next year, but I also have I have a paid group that I go live in once a week. And so to be perfectly honest, sometimes it's just hard to fit it all in and create projects for everything. And sometimes my creativity needs a little break. So if that happens, my main page is where I cut back on. And so with the holidays, you know, I just try to go live when I can. But definitely we'll be doing this once a month with the new words of each month on my main page here. And then those replays stay for 30 days. Facebook likes to delete them after 30 days, but in my paid group, they get the recordings of every class that I've ever done forever. Gratitude. Let's see. I need a good, let's do it over here. Gratitude. I feel like I need to do it differently. Since there was that little space right there, I just put that crossbar of the A in here. And I did my T's differently. So sometimes when you're doing the same letter right next to each other, it feels like you need to make them the exact same way, but don't be afraid to kind of like play around with it and experiment with different things. Try lowercase, capitals. Just have fun with it, because lettering is really, it's not handwriting, it's art. And so you're just kind of trying to create a pretty design with the letters. So there are no rules. You do not have to do them any certain way. You can kind of do your own thing with them and have fun with them. So don't feel like you need to fit in a box or do things a certain way. Is there one style of lettering you always go to now? It's more of this kind of style right now, Marisa, like, you know, where I'm mixing the capitals and the lowercase. That's my favorite. Like something like this or like this. That's my favorite go-to. That's what I try. I'm trying not to, like, you know, do the same thing over and over and over 50 times, especially on something like this. Okay, gratitude. Now we have stuffing. these have a smaller tip too, also. That might be fun to do little, I don't know. I'm trying to think of where I can put this and how I can put it. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to go around this just to play and do something different. Sometimes I do a better S if I do it upside down or backwards. So if you see me doing my S's backwards, that is why. I can get a big top part if I do it backwards. Now I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, I only have this much space to go. So I'm paying mind to that as I'm lettering. So I'm knowing that I need to make these F's like very skinny so that I can fit the rest of these letters in. Printed capital letters take up less space. So sometimes if I know I don't have a lot of space to work with, I try to use capital letters. Sometimes if somebody has a long name and I needed to like customize, a sign and the space is really narrow, I might throw in some printed capital letters just to get it to fit in the space that I needed it to. So things like that are how I determine like where to put the capital letters and that kind of stuff. So this kind of gives a good visual. It kind of fills that space because when we're done, it's all going to be like lettered. So I like that stuffing. And then now we have Friendsgiving. Let's see. Let's do. I think I'm going to do that at the top here. That's a pretty long word. I could do cozy here. Okay. I'm going to do Friendsgiving here. And I know I have plenty of room to work with. So I'll mix this style. I'm getting that brown everywhere. Look, I just got it all over. Can't see it, but I'm like tracking it all over my paper. So if that happens to you, you're not alone. And so I knew that like this G was here, so I did a lowercase g just around that word. And I had to kind of get a little higher with it because I knew if I didn't, it would run into that. Here, I can either kind of bring this a little higher so that my loop will have more room, or I could just do a capital G so that I wouldn't have to worry about running into that. So I'm just going to I'll do a capital G. And then that way I don't have to worry about those two running into each other. And apparently my brown just loves to stay wet forever. Something you could do if that was happening to you or you had something on your hands too, is you could always like cover it like this so that it has less of a chance to smear. So I'm going to do that while I just fix this word real fast. So anywhere my pen is going down, I'm thickening up. That is called faux calligraphy. If you don't know how to do this, I do have a workbook that I sell that teaches the faux calligraphy. So it has a lot of examples of like where to put your thin and thick lines. And that's really helpful if you're a beginner, because when I first started lettering like this, I had to look at something for a good long while. At first, I had to look at things to see where to make it thicker. And then after I kind of got the hang of that, I still would like to look at it to see like how to shape the word or the letters, just like a little cheat sheet kind of. So there's some of those in there in that workbook. It's a good kind of resource if you are newer to lettering. You don't have to follow it exactly either. Like lettering is just, I keep looking at this, making sure it's not misspelled. Lettering is just, you know, it's just art. So you can do it however you want. You don't have to follow any certain rules if you don't want to. You can do it however you want. Let's do, the next word is autumn. So let's see. I think I want to do orange there. I think I'll do autumn here. My hand is just, that is, okay. Just want to make sure. Autumn. This is a good word to practice if you're starting out and trying to kind of get the hang of the lettering, because all these letters have the same like shapes. And so it kind of creates a very aesthetically pleasing look here. Makes it easier to make it straight across. It's the first time I've ever done a live inside my house. I'm usually in my studio. Autumn, then thank you. Let's see. Let's go with this. Oh, I have this green color here. I can do thank you. Let's do thank you here. It's hard to see this. So I just took this K because I kind of ran out of space and it would have been just little there, but there is also a gap between the N and the E. So I just curled that around and it kind of just, I think that looks cute. It just helps fill that space a little bit more. But don't be afraid just to have fun with it and just do kind of little things like that. Especially if you accidentally mess up, just try to make something out of it. That's what I do so many times. Thank you. Okay. Well, let's do cranberries. Let's do it in this color. It's not cranberry color, but cranberries. Let's see where I don't have that. I could do it here. It's kind of a long word. What could I do here? Well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to write it in this color because I just don't think it's going to work. Let's do, Why is that? Why am I so indecisive on this? I'll just do brown again. I don't know. I don't know. I should have got red. Do you have a tough time deciding what things to throw away and what to keep? No. If I don't like it, I don't know if I throw it away if I don't like it. If I like it, I have a whole box full of like different designs. But what I like to do is buy these like little spirals. This is what I typically do, is just buy like a sketchbook or like this multimedia book, and you can just keep it all in your book. And then that way it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's not like a big project. It's not like, you know, something like that. It's all kind of in one place. So I have a lot of sketchbooks that are just, you know, full of my practice and my writing. So there's some really ugly things in there, and there's some really pretty things in there. I just keep a lot of things. In fact, I have my very first sketchbook when I first started lettering that I ever did. And sometimes I pull that out and show people, just to show people where I began and how it looked when I first started and how it looks now. And it's usually very, very different. I think I'm going to do cranberry. Oh no, because that's here. Cranberries. Let's see. I think I'll just do it here. Destiny, I'm going off of this. Let me see if pecans is on here. It's not on here. If I run out of room, I can add that. But this is, I'm going off of these words. So I just didn't want you to think I was ignoring you there. Yeah, we'll do cranberries. See. So I crossed that up here because there was a little bit of space. I don't know. Crayon. So I'm paying attention to this and how much space I have. I love to do when I have two R's together, do one capital and one cursive. That's actually really cute. Sometimes I don't know how it's going to turn out. Sometimes I start to do something and it doesn't turn out the way that I envisioned in my head. I think we all have been there. Sometimes I think something is going to be super cute and it's like, okay, well, that didn't turn out the way I like it, but it's all experience. You know, you're building experience. Just, you know, that's just how you learn. And so you are going to make mistakes. You are going to mess up. I still mess up all the time, as I did at the beginning of this live video. That's just part of it. The main part is if you enjoy doing it, that you are doing something that you enjoy. That's really the most important thing. Because that's the whole purpose of crafting or doing something creative like this, right? Is just to have that enjoyment. So the next word is cozy, and I'm going to do it right here because that's perfect little spot. I should do it here like cozy, like C-O-Z-Y. That's cute, but maybe I'll put it somewhere else. This color is harder to see, but it at least offers some variety to my color palette. Cozy, and then home. I'm going to use this again because I only have it two places here. So I think I'm going to do it right here. I could do it here. Let me do it here. And since I have this little bit of space right here, I'm just going to do something like that. Seemed like the right thing to do. That's why I like doing these, because you kind of start getting creative with the space that you have and trying to fill it up. And it causes you to do things that maybe you wouldn't, or letter in ways that maybe you wouldn't have thought of before. Okay, home. And then I can use this one more time. Let's do abundance down here. And you could also do just fun little, like, I don't know, curly Q letters, or, you know, put little dots or shadows on these. Dress them up if you want. I don't typically get too crazy with it on these, just because I could sit and work on this all day long. But you could really have a good time with it if you just spaced it out and did a little bit at a time. Let's do, okay, we have celebration. Let's do it in this light color. Doesn't feel like celebration goes with this, but I could do CELEBR. No, CELEBRATION. Just for something fun. CELEBRATION. We're going to try this. Why don't I do CELE and then B. I'm trying to line these up so that they're even all the way across. So I took the middle section and did that first. And then CELEBRATION. Okay, no, celebration. I'm just trying to get a little creative. And I think what I'll do is do little polka dots around here, like confetti looking. It's not really a very November-ish word, but you know. Now I'm gonna have this song in my head. And now y'all are, because I just said that. Could also add some little polka dots in here. So I could just do this word challenge again. I could grab another piece of paper and do it again, and it could look completely different, just based on the placing of the placing of the words. You know, like one word different could shift the whole paper. Oh, Destiny, you're okay. No problem at all. Lots of trial and error. Yes. Okay. Let's see. If you were only, Janie wanted to know which would be the best to start with if beginner wise, if you were only getting one book, because I have two different workbooks in there. I would say the For the Love of Letters is more of like creative stuff. It's got like more flourishes. If you are just very, very brand new, I would get the hand lettering for beginners, because it's going to go over, you know, how to draw each letter individually, and it's going to have arrows showing you like the direction and like what to make thick and what to make thin. So I think that one would probably be the most helpful if you're first starting out. Okay, Fall Y'all is next. So we're gonna go with, I feel like that needs to be brown. And I feel, let's see, let's do it right here. I don't want to do it like this. Maybe I should do it like that here. I'm looking at, I have this here, like kind of square shaped, you know, like designs. And so that's what I'm thinking in my head. I could do Fall Y'all right there, but I could also do something else there. So I'm thinking of, if I'm going to stack it, I don't want to do two different styles like right next to each other. So let's just go. Go a little smaller. Fall. And it's just fun. Just lettering is fun. It's a fun craft that doesn't require a lot of space. Like you can just grab your pens and grab a little notebook and do it anywhere. And I think that's one of the things that I like the most, because I love painting, but I can't paint in the car. I can't paint, you know, while I'm waiting in the parent pickup line, whatever. Like lettering, you can just do it anywhere and with anything. Like you could grab a pencil and you could do it with a pencil. It's just, you know, it's an easy, not messy craft. Let's see, the next word is comfort. And I'm going to do it here. I'm thinking, why don't I go up here with this? Comfort. November definitely is about being cozy and comfortable. Unless you're in Texas and it's still warm. I'm ready for the cold. I love summer, but I like it to be cold, like Thanksgiving, like November and December. And then after Christmas, I'm like, okay, I'm ready for it to be warm again. But here, our coldest months are usually January and February. Like I need it to be cold and snowy on Christmas. I'm gonna bring that inside that F there to kind of use up that negative space. Comfort. Here, it's all smashed up. I want it to look like this when we're done everywhere. So I still have a few gaps, and I know that I am this far down the list. I have this many words to go. So this is where it starts getting kind of trickier. I'm going to use this. I think maybe I'll work down here. Apple cider. I probably could do something big here. I could do it sideways. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do cider first. And then I'm going to do cursive. And then I'm just going to fill the space like that. Okay, apple cider. And the next word is pilgrims. I'm going to do pilgrims here. I had this thought earlier. Just a good little spot for that, I guess. Pilgrims, hardy. Let's see. Do hardy here. What colors did I not do? Brown. I like doing H's in cursive, so we're going to make this a cursive-y, a little bit bigger. And so see how my lettering is like it's a little shaky looking, but I'm going to go back and thicken this up and kind of straighten out any of those shaky lines. And when I'm done, it won't look like it was that way. So just because you see the final product all beautiful and perfect, posted, unless you were there during the process, it just looks like somebody just is super fancy and does it all perfectly in one swoop. That's not always the case. So y'all are here with me watching as I letter. But if you're just happened to see it on social media, you would just think, oh, I don't know. To me, watching the process and realizing that it doesn't always look perfect. There's a lot of relief in that. I just remember the first time that I saw somebody that I followed that had just, I followed for hand lettering, like before I started teaching it, but when I was just still kind of new at it. And I saw that they had posted something that they had messed up. And it was like this sense of relief, like, oh, okay, their lettering is beautiful and they mess up too. Like, it was just like this, it's almost like permission to be normal, to be human, right? To mess up, to not be perfect. And I don't know, from then on, it just made me feel so much better about lettering and all of that. So see, that looks totally different than what it looked like all shaky. Hey, Miss Deb. Hey, Linda. You're never late around here, y'all. Y'all know that. Traditions. Let's see. I need, what color could I do there? See, this is what happens when you get each one of the colors all around here. I guess I could do a yellow, but I don't really want to do a yellow. Half the video is me deciding what color to do. Okay, traditions. Let's do a color here so that I can, this is where it gets tricky. I've already said that a million times. That's just me taking up space, just trying to buy time so I can make a decision. Traditions. We have traditions, leftovers, faith, and give thanks. So I'm thinking give thanks might need to go here because give thanks. And then I could do faith here. Ooh, I could do it going this way. Faith. Or I could do it big around here. Faith. And then leftovers could go here. Okay. Give thanks, faith, leftovers, traditions. I'm going to have extra space. I do this every time. I feel like I'm taking up a lot of space, but I don't. I feel like, did I miss a word? I guess then I can do pecan. Let's do give thanks right here, though. So I'm going to do thanks first. I'm going to do it kind of big since we have the room. Thanks. I'm going to do... You can fill the other spaces in with doodles and things like that. So it'll also help with colors. And you could even do like polka dots or whatever. If you're good at drawing, you could draw like Thanksgiving Day stuff. I'm not the best at drawing. It makes me a little nervous to do it just live here on the screen because I feel like I need to pencil it out a bunch of times. Like, you know, I need to look at a picture first. But we'll see what I mean, some things I can do, but. You could do some leaves. Okay, give thanks. And then let's do faith in this color here. I'm kind of thinking that maybe I should do it right there. Then what would I do here? I feel like I could do something fun with this. See, like that. Just kind of use up that space a little bit. Faith. Then, and you could always do something cute like this. A little heart there. Maybe another one there. Now I feel like I want to do some more. Maybe one here. It's kind of like doodling, you know, like you don't necessarily start out with a plan. You just kind of fill in the spaces as you go. Using what you have, what might look good. Not the hearts really go with November, but it's done, so there's no going back. Okay, there we go. November, faith, and then we got give thanks. And I'm gonna do that in what color? I might need to do it in brown as much as I don't want to. Brown. I'll see if this shows up. Let me see. Let me see if this is going to show up. I think it looks orange. Yeah. So I'm not going to use that. We'll just use this. The brown seems to just wipe everywhere. Oh, I already did give thanks. Right here. Almost made a boo-boo. Well, thank you, Marisa. Okay, so I had, I have traditions, leftovers. So traditions and leftovers. So we could do something down here in this color, traditions. Let me think about this for a second. TRADITIONS. Or I could do it here. I'm going to do it here. Can't believe I have so much space left. Basically, you are watching me letter and you're inside my head. This is what I would say to myself inside my head. Come watch Jennifer talk to herself. You want to know what I think as I'm lettering, watch one of my lives. Okay. Not bad. Traditions. It offers some variety. Okay, traditions, leftovers. We're going to go here. We'll use brown. I could do leftovers, even though it's one word. Could do it big. I typically don't like doing cursive Fs. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe not. I was thinking the space, like how could it fill up the space the most? I'm gonna make this E a little bit bigger. Left. Curl that just to take up some space. And obviously this is one word, but I think you can break the rules on this. This needs a little bit of help. You know, it works. Okay, I think I got all the words. Traditions, leftover. So now we have a couple of extra words. We had, trying to remember who that was, Destiny. Y'all give me a couple of words. Hey, Cynthia, you are never late around here. Y'all give me a couple other words to letter, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do pecans. Technically, I'm supposed to fill it up with the words of the month, but I might do a couple of words since I always seem to have extra space. So I'm going to do pecans here. Could do a pink one. I think I'm going to do pink. You can see it better, purple or whatever color this is. And then somebody's going to be like, I didn't see pecans on that list. I cheated. Okay. Warm fire. I have family somewhere. Where did I put family already? Right here. We're going to do warm fire. And then I think the rest of the things I can like fill it up with like shapes and stuff. Let's see, warm fire, maybe right here. Or, oh, I could do orange right there. Okay. So now I'm just going to fill it up with like some little of these. And so I'm going to try to go where like I'll try to put the orange where there are places that I didn't see orange. By Angie, like to kind of fill in those like, you know, colors. Like right here could use some pink. So we could do like that. And let's see, some other little areas where always throw in dots. I like to put dots every, you know, in little spots. Okay, let's see. Orange, let's see, where is there none of this? You could do that here. There. We'll do some polka dots here. I don't know. It's just all an experiment, right? Like you're just playing around with it, having fun. Do it once, and then if you feel like you want to redo it, then do it again. Everything always looks better the second time you do it. Leftovers. This color here. do some polka dots. You can't really see those, but they're here. Let's do a little pumpkin here. Let me get more of an orange. Then I can use my brown. There. And we'll use this dark green and just do some just fill it in. I mean, that might be the only space I can do a leaf. Be one there. Should have done one right there. I'm going to do one right here. Right there. I think that's it. And then I'm just going to do some of these dots to tie that in. Anywhere. Okay, I think that's it. As I keep going. That'll be good. There we go. There is our November lettering challenge. It's not my favorite, but it's not my least favorite. I don't know what my least favorite is, but I think it turned out all right. I probably should have, I don't know. We're not going to talk about what I should have done. We are just going to say, good job, you got it done, right? Leaf by Grateful, like right here. Ooh, I could do one right here too. You might have already said that. You might have said that before I did it here. But I can do another one right here. And I can do another one right here. So you could just keep on adding on to these forever. You could do some little berries if you wanted to also. You could do all kinds of things. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was fun. I will post a picture of it. I posted this on my page, so you can click on it and print it off, take a screenshot of it, whatever you want to get the words. And then if you do this, I would love to see, if you are in the Happy Lettering Club, post it in the group. If you are not in the Happy Lettering Club, on Wednesdays, I put a post on my page that just asks what you've been working on. So you can post it under there. I like to see everybody's versions of this and the different ways that people do this. I feel like I'm feeling really drawn to do this really fast. I just want to add some green right here. I don't know why. I'm just looking at it on the screen. And it's something I want to do really fast. So, and if you're new to lettering, you can check out my shop. I have some workbooks. If you would like to dive deeper into lettering, I have a group called the Happy Lettering Club where we do projects and I teach once a week doing things like this. This week we are making a door hanger and I'm excited about it. I can't wait. We do all kinds of fun, different projects in that group. And it's a lot of fun. Let's see. I think this kind of makes this bead stand out a little bit more. There. I know you probably can't even see what I did. You're probably like, what does she even do? But I just kind of put some outlines on that. And then of course you could always go over it with your glitter pop pen and just do some fun, like make it glittery. Glitter makes everything better. These are in the starter pen packs. I used to have a different pen in there, but I am using this so much lately, I decided to take that one out and put this one in. You're not going to be able to see it, but it does have, the pictures never, it never shows up in video, but it's sparkly and it's the most amazing, wonderful pen. It's by Pentel. It's a Sparkle Pop glitter pen. So, all right, guys. Well, I will see you later. I hope you have a good rest of your Wednesday, and happy Lettering Club members. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you. Yep, my tree, Deb, my tree is in the background. It's not decorated yet, but it's there. It's just up plain, but it looks pretty plain. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.